Now see, today we will start a new chapter, chapter number 15. The name of the chapter is probability. Probability. Standard 9 CBSE. Now, in our day-to-day life, see, what do you mean by probability? In our day-to-day life, we can use words like probably, chances, most probability, certainly, etc. In some statement like, it will probably rain today. Okay? I doubt that he passed the test. See, the following two statements I am writing. Suppose it is given, it will probably rain today. Another statement is, I doubt that he passed the test. Look at the two statements. Here, chances are high that price of petrol will go up. Another statement, chances are high that price of petrol will go up. Here the words like probably or chances or doubt, these words convey the sense that the event is not certain. Right? The word like probably, doubt, chances, what does they convey? These words convey the sense that the event is not certain to take place. It may take place, it may not. That is, there may or may not rain today. We are predicting rain today on the basis of our past experience. Right? So these words involve an element of uncertainty. Okay? So the words like probably, doubt, right, convey the element of uncertainty. Okay, element of uncertainty. The amount of uncertainty can be measured numerically by means of probability. So what is the probability? The amount of uncertainty can be measured numerically. By means of probability. In this chapter, we shall introduce the concept of probability as a measure of uncertainty. In this chapter, we introduce the concept of probability as a measure of uncertainty. There are three methods of measuring probability. there are 3 methods of measuring probability. But in this chapter we only study one way. But in this chapter, because this first time we come across to the word probability, so in this chapter we only study one way. We only study in 10th standard, फिर दूसरा हम पढ़ेंगे 10, 11, 12 में. We study only one way. That one way is called experimental or empirical method. Way. This is called experimental or empirical way. The remaining would be discussed in higher classes. Only one way we are going to discuss in standard 9, and the another way, the remaining would be discussed in higher classes. In standard 8, you have learned the following terms. Probability, in standard 8 also you have learned some basic. In standard 8, you have learned the following term. The following terms. Let us revise. Let us recall, okay? First you have learned is the random experiment. Which particular term first you have learned? First one is the random experiment. Now what is random experiment? You have learned this term in standard 8. What do you mean by random experiment? See, it is an experiment where all outcomes of the experiment are known, but which particular is going to occur cannot be predicted before we perform the experiment. For example, acid and base combined, they form salt and water. So that won't be a random experiment, because before we perform, we know about the results. Possible outcomes, possible results are known, but which particular is going to occur cannot be predicted before we perform the experiment. Such experiment, we call it as a random experiment. For example, tossing a balanced coin. You know, either H occur or T occur, but which particular is going to be occur cannot be said in advance, okay? Throwing a dice, balanced dice. So, you know, either die come up with number 1 or number 2 or number 3 or number 4, number 5 or 6. But you are not sure which number is going to come up when you throw a die. Okay? Same way to apply medicine to a specific patient. Every patient को particular दवाई से every patient can respond differently, right? You can't say that patient को कितने % benefit होगा. He can be survive or not. He can be by using this medicine he is going to be improved. How much % we don't know. We can't predict. To measuring lifespan of an electric bulb. Bulb लगाने के बाद you can't say कि how many hours, how many days. बल्ब डाला और तुरंत भी खत्म हो सकता है, उड़ जाता है कभी कभी, right? So these are the example of random random experiment. Okay, so random experiment, it is an experiment. It is an experiment. Where all outcomes मतलब results. In language of probability result को हम बोलते हैं outcomes. All outcomes of the experiment के लिए मैं EXP लिखती हूँ. Experiment are known. Right? But which particular one? One is going to occur. Cannot be said or cannot be predicted before we perform the experiment. Okay, we can't predict, right? For example, many examples you can give. First example is tossing a balance coin. Why I am using balance? This should be unbiased. Okay. Second, throwing a balance die. When I tossing the balance coin, outcomes are H or T. H or T. But which particular is going to occur, we can't predict. When we are throwing a die, possible outcomes are, we know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6. But which particular is going to occur cannot be predicted. अगर वो डाई मामा शकुनी का है तो महाभारत देखा है ना, उसमें मामा शकुनी वो दुर्योधन को पूछते हैं भांजे क्या चाहिए, बोलता है मामा 6, तो ऐसे 6 लाके देता है. तो भाई बिकॉज हिज डाई वॉज नॉट बैलेंस, इट वॉज बायस, पहले से एडजस्ट करके रखा था, राइट. सो उसमें प्रोबेबिलिटी में हम ऐसा डाइस नहीं ले सकते. 6 there are 6 face and on each face number are marked like 1, 2, 3, 4 or sometimes some dots are placed in place of number. Okay. Now another terminology you have learned in 8 is trial. What do you mean by trial? Trial मतलब when we perform an experiment, it is called a trial. When we perform an experiment, it is called a trial. It is a trial. Second time I perform the experiment, it is second trial. Third time I perform the experiment, it is third trial. Okay. It is a trial of an experiment. Okay. Now another things you have learned is event. याद है? What do you mean by event? Event is a collection of some outcomes of the experiment. Okay, it is a collection of some outcomes of the experiment. For example, suppose you are in case of tossing a balance coin. In case of tossing a balance coin, event of getting head is denoted by a set containing H. It is a collection containing only one outcomes, okay? Or suppose getting a tail, event of getting a tail. It is denoted by set containing T. There are two events in case of tossing a balance coin. Suppose you are taking an example of throwing a die. Six. Now see, ऊपर में जो दो outcomes थे ना, set containing H and set containing T, are two primary, two elementary events. Elementary events matlab in a event that it contain only one outcomes, okay? And all events are equiprobable. The chance of occurrence of elementary events, all elementary events are equal. Probability of getting H, set containing H, is also 1/2, and probability of getting a tail event, tail, is also 1/2. Clear? Throwing a die, there are 6 primary events. It is also called elementary events, are also called primary events. There are 6 elementary events. Like getting number 1, or getting number 2, or getting number 3, or getting number 4, or getting number 5, or getting number 6. Clear? So, elementary events are events which contain only one outcomes, right? And usually elementary events are equiprobable, equally likely. But if the event has 2 or more possible outcomes, if an event has 2 or more possible outcomes, of a trial, it is called compound events of a trial. It is called compound events. It is called compound events. Elementary event मतलब only one outcomes, and compound event मतलब more than one outcomes. Okay, it can be 2, 3, 4. Clear? Of a trial only, not out of trial. Experiment में जो है वही. For example, in case of dice, suppose A is an event of, if A is an event of getting odd number, event of getting even number. even number in a single throw of die. तो क्या आएगा इसमें? सेट कंटेनिंग कलेक्शन में 2, 4 and 6. A collection containing 3 outcomes. So it is called compound event. Okay, clear? Now consider the random experiment of tossing 2 coins. Consider the random experiment of tossing 2 balance coins. 2 balance coins once or 1 coin twice. Right? Then your outcomes are HH, head on board trial, HT, TH and TT. 4 outcomes. It is 2 into 2. That is 4. First coin also has 2 outcomes, second also has 2 outcomes, one follows the other. So total number of outcomes are 4. Now suppose we define an event of getting exactly 1 head. Exactly 1 head. Event of getting exactly 1 head. Then the collection of, then it is collection of elementary events HT and TH. Clear? So it is collection of 2 events HT and TH. So it is compound events. Okay, are you clear about elementary events and compound events? What is different between compound events and elementary events? Clear? Now start with a concept of standard 9, first concept of standard 9, and that is empirical. Or it is called experimental. Probability. What is experimental probability or empirical probability? How can I define? Let there be n trials of an experiment. Suppose there be n trials of the experiment and A be an event, associated to it. A be an event associated to it, such that A happen event A happens in M trials. Out of N trials, in M trials, event A happen or occur. Okay? A happens in M trials. Then the empirical or experimental probability of happening of event A is denoted by PA. Probability of A, and is given by the formula PA is equal to M by N. मतलब number of trial in which A happens upon total number of trials. Okay. Empirical definition of probability is probability of event A is M by N. M is number of trials in which event A happens or occur, and which is total number of trials. So it is M by N. Clear? Clearly from this definition, what we observe clearly, we know 0 less than equal to M, less than equal to N. Clear? M can be equal to 0 or N or in between. So naturally, if I divide all three sides by M by N, so my M by N is coming between 0 to 1. So I can say probability of any event is always between 0 to 1. This is a very important fact we should remember forever. Probability is always lying between closed interval 0 to 1. It can be 0, it can be 1, or it can be in between 0 and 1. But probability is never be greater than 1, nor it is negative. Probability cannot be negative, and probability cannot be greater than 1. Therefore, the probability of happening of an event always lying between 0 to 1. Therefore, the probability of happening of an event is always lies between 0 and 1. Okay? If PA is 1, then A is called certain event. What is called? Certain event. Event is always certain. It contains all the possible outcomes. And if PA is 0, then A is called impossible event. Impossible event. And probability of impossible event is 0. It does not contain any outcomes. Impossible event does not contain any outcomes. And certain event contain all the outcomes of the experiment. For example, a coin, let us take one example to understand this. A coin is tossed 500 times, okay, with the following table, with the following frequencies. Frequencies matlab how many times each number occurs. Frequencies of two outcomes. There are two outcomes, either H occur or T occur. Head can occur out of 500 times, head occur 240 times. And tail occur how many times? 260 times. Because both together reach 500. Find the probability of occurrence of each of these events. Event where head occurs and event where tail occurs. Now you know total number of trials. How many times experiment can be performed? 500 times. Okay. Suppose A is the event of getting head and B is the event of getting tail. Then what is your PA? PA will be number of trials in which A occur. Upon total number of trials. Total number of trials are 500 and event A occur how many times? 240 times. So my probability of A is 240 by 500. 80 there. 12 2s and 25 2s, 12 by 25. So decimal में करो तो 12 4 जा 48.48. And probability of B मतलब event where tail occur. So number of trials in which B occurs upon total number of trials. So it is 260 upon 500. So it is 13 by 25. So 13 4 ja 52 6.50. Clear? Here PA plus PB is 1. So A and B are only two possible outcomes. Clear? So here if we increase the number of trials, the value of P and PB comes closer to 0.5. Here, if we increase the number of trials, matlab instead of 500 times, 1000 times, 2000 times number of trials, then PA and PB, values of PA and PB, values of PA and PB comes closer to closer to 0.5. Clear? Number of trials are increased, then probability of both elementary events are equal. Clear? Another example I am taking, second example. Suppose if two coins are tossed together 1000 times. Okay. with the following frequency. With the following frequencies of different outcomes. Now see, different outcomes are, you know very well, you are given two heads. Occur 210 times. One head occur. One head matlab in first coin, with first coin or with second coin, okay? So only one head occur, how many times? 550 times. And no head occur. When two coins are tossed, there are three possibilities. Either head occur twice or once or no times. No head occur. And this happens 240 times. Find the probability of occurrence of each of these events. This is the sum, okay? Now I call, let age event of getting two heads. Okay, I call getting two heads, I give name as event A. I give name to getting one head. वो इवेंट को मैं नाम दे रहे हूँ B. And C is getting event of getting no heads. So PA is, then PA will be what? According to numerical or experimental definition, PA is 210 by 1000. So it is 0.21, okay? PB can be 550 upon 1000. So it is 0.55. And PC is, these are the compound event, okay? They are not elementary event. 240 upon 1000. So that is 0.24. Here also if we increase, here also if we increase the number of tosses, the number of trials or tosses, PA comes closer to 0.25. PB comes closer to 0.50 and PC comes closer to 0.25. तो इसमें एक आउटकम्स है, A और C में एक एक आउटकम्स है, तो 1/4 और B में दो आउटकम्स है, तो 2/4. So it tends to this. And you will observe here also PA plus PB plus PC is 1 because there are only these three possible outcomes are. Here A, B and C covers all the outcomes of trial. Here A, B and C covers all four outcomes of a trial, okay? Covers all four outcomes of a trial, okay? Of a trial or of an experiment. So the total is always 1. Total can be 1 if it covers all the outcomes of a trial, okay? Third sum देखो आप. A die is thrown. Thousand times. I have taken sums from your exercise 15.1 with the frequency or the outcomes one, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 as given below. You are given outcomes and you are given frequency. One, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Okay, and frequencies are given as 179, 150, 157, then 149, then 175 and 190. So find the probability of getting each outcomes. Each outcomes. So हम क्या करेंगे? Let EI is an event of getting I on a die. I on a die, where I is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6. Okay. So here P of E1 is given as how many times 1 occur? Event of getting 1. So it is 179 by 1000. So it is 0.179. What is P of E2? E2 occur how many times? E2 occur 150 times. So it is 0.150. Similarly, P of E3 is 0.157. P of E4 is 0.149. P of E5 is 0.175 and P of E6 you are getting 0.190. Suppose A is the event of getting, let A is a event of getting number less than 3. Number less than 3. Less than 3 matlab it is nothing but 1 or 2. So P of A calculate करना है तो आपको P of E1 लाना पड़ेगा plus P of E2. Okay, 2 primary events. So 0.179 plus 0.150 and it is coming 0.329. Okay, here E1 and E2 and E6 cover all the outcomes. Here E1, E2 up to E6 covers all the outcomes. And when it covers all the outcomes, you know P of E1 plus P of E2 up to P of E6. If you add them, it is always equal to 1. Okay? Okay? So I think I have given enough practice. Right? Probability का concept एकदम clear हो गया. Now we can start doing sum in next class. There is only one exercise based on this empirical definition of probability. Okay? Sums are based on impossible events, certain events, elementary event, compound event, and you are asked to find out the probability of those events. Okay? So next class we will do more practice.